So I started my goat farming in about 2011 when I was in high school. And same story, purchased a few ewes. It's a slow growth in the beginning. And towards the end, I had 40 mature ewes, but I had to finish high school and go into farming. I farmed in Australia. I worked on a farm in Australia for a year. So I had to give up the ewes because we didn't have the management while I was away. So yeah, then we stopped. And in 2021, I started my journey again with goats. And why I started the journey was on our farms, we had a lot of blackthorn, a lot of camphor bush, and just a lot of bush in general. So when you're looking at your farm, you've been cattle farmers all the time. I saw this unutilized resource. So we took this resource and we put goats down. So why I love goats is that they eat this unutilized pasture available or browsing, where sheep would have been in similar competition with the cattle. So we went on goats. The other reason why I love goats are the fact that they are so fertile. So if you're working on cattle, you're not going to have over 100% calving or weaning on your cattle. It's just impossible. So your potential to generate more income per hectare is more on the goats. The goats are a lot of work, definitely. The labor and the management on goats is a heck of a lot more. But if you're looking at a small farm, often if you're running maybe 100 cows, your one labor unit to 100 cows is going to be quite high. So you want to vertically expand. You want to be able to generate more income out of that farm. So that's why we decided on goats. And so today, recently this week, I purchased these ewes. So all in all, it was about 36,000 Rand. And I got a mixture of mature cull ewes with lambs, some as small as 12 kilograms. So basically, what we did today is I brought them in and put them on this hay. So just a normal oat hay. And we kept them over there just to give them time to settle, to know the place. We wouldn't want them getting away or getting lost. So we just gave them time to settle, put them on water and grass hay. As you can see now, they're all eating quite nicely. And I don't think we purchased a bad group of ewes here. So hopefully I'll get another lamb or two out of them, and that will be very good. In terms of where to get loans, so private equity is the best because you can negotiate a better deal, better rates. I went to First National Bank for a private loan, and even though I've got a relative salary, they would only give me a 24% interest. So then I went to the co-op, and they were prepared to give me, or my father, shall we say, 25% of the value of their farm if you signed it over as surety. Additionally, you'd have to get an independent evaluator in to evaluate that farm, and there can't be any other bonds on the farm. So yeah, and that's a 12-month production loan. So however much you borrow, you've got to pay it back in 12 months. So that's good for crop farmers when they want to put their fertilizers and their chemicals on their crops, etc. But for livestock farmer, can only really work with a feedlot, and that's quite difficult. So I want to talk today. I went to Samba Cooperation. They're based in Bloemfontein. I've used them to finance my car, and family members have used them to finance the car before. So they were prepared to give me 50,000 Rand at a 10.5% flat interest rate per annum, but only for 2 years. So I decided to take that loan, and that's where these goats come from now. So yeah, it's very difficult without private equity to get a loan in this country, especially if you're a young guy starting out. So yeah, that's how I did it, and yeah, good luck to you. So it's now 3 days post arrival and a Saturday, so I got the chance to work with them. So what I did is I gave them a broad spectrum Clostridium, so again something like Clostrivax O, and then I obviously gave them a dewormer. So I gave them a dose, a Clostridium injection, and then I put my marks into them. So I gave them ear marks to know which ones are which and which are mine. Obviously I recorded them, not recording. The animals is very important so that you know who they are, how many they are, and when they have lamb, etc. Is it a good goat or not? So your management and your record keeping is probably the most important thing, because yes, it is a lot of effort, but it takes a lot of time, but it costs nothing. So if you're passionate about farming, you must do your record keeping so that you know which is a productive and efficient animal over one that's not as efficient, because as we know, the input costs are high. So you don't want to be feeding something that's not producing for you. Additionally, with some of the older ewes, the full mouth ewes, we found that they had bad hooves, so I had to trim the hooves. And obviously it can be environmental factors, soft ground or something like that. It can also be, it is very genetic. So you want to have a goat that has good hooves, so they can walk far, it can eat, and you can farm them in arid regions, because that's where the goat excels and what's good about the goats. So yeah, I purchased these ewes, and it's my second capital injection into this goat flock. So starting in 2021, we bought about 40,000 rands worth of ewes, and that gave us just over the 20 head. But buying weaner ewes, open ewes, they still had a few months before they could get pregnant, and obviously not all of them got pregnant, and not all of them raised good lambs. So the problem with starting your flock and livestock farming is very difficult. It takes time, at least 5 years to build up a flock. So if you can budget in another capital injection, you're going to do well to buy additional animals. So 2021, we sat on about 25 ewes with the progeny and the sale progeny of the male animals and the animals that didn't breed. We got up to about 75 mature ewes in this year, 2020 or 2025, shall we say. So with those 75 ewes, we had 35 replacement ewes coming through there, and about, I think it was closer to 55 male animals to market. And the genetics is 50-50 males and females, but you can't really bank on that. Some years you might have more ewes, sometimes you might have more males. But yeah, it's going to take you at least 5 years to build up a flock. So currently we're sitting on the 75 mature ewes, the 35 weaner ewes. So they're only about 6 months old now, and that's why I decided to purchase additional animals. Yeah, so that's where we are, and yeah, we'll see how the goat farming goes. You know, with anything, any livestock, you need functionality, fertility, and then fleece. So you need the animals producing meat for you, and it's producing meat through its lamb, so you're going to need the fertility. And for it to be fertile and produce meat, it's got to be functional. So it's got to be able to walk into the hills, it's got to be able to climb into a tree and browse over there in hot conditions. So that's what you want with goats. And if you're looking at a stud goat, I'm not a stud goat farmer, so I can't tell you too much about conformation and that sort of thing. But what I can tell you is, if you select for fertility, then everything else will follow. So an animal that weans a lamb that's too big, she won't become pregnant again. So by selecting for fertility, you've got half the battle won. And then you can start looking at a fertile animal with better conformation and better structure to produce you more meat on that lamb. But yeah, it starts with them being fertile. So if you select hard, which is difficult when you're growing your flock, then you'll get a fertile animal and a hardy animal. So we want hardy animals. But yeah, that's how we started our goat farming, and that's where we are now.